Hey, what up, this is Eddie04, and today we'll be talking about capture cards in streaming, especially camera capture cards. Currently, the market for video production, video editing, and streaming is off the roof. Capture cards like the Elgato Camlink or the HD60S Plus prices are messed up due to scrappers overpricing them. I was able to find an alternative for the capture cards for less than 40% the market price. But well, you can check the links in the description below for the capture cards I tested in this video. And I tested this capture cards for streaming and content creation, and yes, by the way, I stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so any questions or doubts or just want to hang out, go ahead and join me on Twitch. I got these three cards to test them out as an alternative for the Elgato Camlink. Now, I got myself three different cards, two actually from the Rullz brand. I don't know, it's R-U-L-L-Z, Rullz, I guess, and another from an unknown brand. It just says video capture card, which is, I don't know, it's just the same.
Okay, beautiful people, so I'll be testing out the three different capture cards that we got, plus the Elgato Camlink. And a few things that I want to point out is that why I believe that they're from the same manufacturer. The only difference is that they have a different branding, and the reason why is because, check this out. So this is the very first capture card that I got here. I got this from Amazon. You can check out the links in the description below. The only thing is that it has the word Rullz just above it, so it's exactly the same thing. They look identical. So this is a video capture card with loop, which kind of replaces the fact of using the HD60. You can actually connect something through HDMI and then output it into a TV or something like that, and you can still capture that content and put it into OBS. So it's gonna be kind of interesting. I'm gonna be testing out all those different capture cards in the order that I got them. So I'm gonna start with the very first one, the HDMI capture card that has no branding at all, the unknown, the brandless HDMI capture card. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect my Canon Vixia HF R800. Now, I usually use my Logitech C920, which is what you see right here, is what I've been using for so long for streaming and recording. I've used it in my old videos, and it works great. But if you want to up your game and you want to use either a mirrorless camera or a DSLR or a camcorder, like I'm doing right now, I would recommend getting some kind of capture card that would allow you to transfer that video output or that video from that camera into your streaming software, in this case OBS Studio. HDMI video capture device, and I'm going to click on OK, and now we have a third device here, which is the USB video, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and as you can see, it looks okay. So this is actually using the Canon Vixia HF R800, which is a camcorder, and currently is just picking up whatever content I got from that camera. It looks pretty good. Now, the little caveat using these capture cards, I was reading through the instructions, and it said that it only showed for 30 frames per second. It didn't really explain anything else. So if you come over here, you can click on the drop down. But first of that, so how you set up with the frame that you're going to be using, just go to custom, and then here you can click on the drop down and look for any one of these here. So 1920 by 1080 is your current resolution you're going to be using, but as you can see, it right away capped into 30 frames per second. That is a default, that is a native resolution that would pull out 30 frames per second, and as you can see, the highest FPS available is 30. That reminds me a little bit about, you know, the Logitech C920, which at 1080p it doesn't really get to 60 frames per second, and that's why they released the C922 and other solutions for webcams to be used on stream. But if you want, right, you can change it to 720p, and by doing 720p you actually get the 60 frames per second, or the highest FPS, which is 59, 94, or 60. And now you can have a fluid movement in your stream. Now, a few things that I would recommend, obviously, is make sure that you set up at least partial in the color space so you can get the real colors. As you can see here, this looks actually better. It's less bright and has a real tone to my skin. So we're gonna go ahead and test out the other capture card. Okay, so I just added the second capture card. This one is the one from Rullz. So I'm gonna do the same thing, and the only thing that I'm gonna change this here is I'm gonna go ahead and Rullz video capture device, and now it's, wow, look at that, it's called exactly the same way, a USB video, and it looks about the same. What do you think? So it's just the same thing, right? You can change this to custom. You can make it into 1080, but that is locked down to 30 frames per second. Then again, like I mentioned before, right, for talking heads and videos where you're recording yourself or having conferences, you really don't need 60 frames per second. Probably if you were capturing a gaming device or game console or some faster movement like a sport or something like that, then yes, I would push into getting 60 frames per second, which you can tweak this into going down to 720p and then recording or streaming 60 frames per second shows, pretty much. Now, for me, a beautiful thing about using the Elgato Camlink is really cool. The fact that you actually have an indicator that will let you know when the Camlink is on. Compared to these cheaper solutions, there's no indicator telling you that this thing is on. You literally have to test it out to see how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Add a video capture card, and I'm gonna call this Camlink. And as you can see here, it shows up Camlink 4K, and currently has no particular settings, so do the same thing, change to custom. And then here I can choose what I want to put, and 1080p, which is kind of the default setup. And as you can see right away, it came back with 59.94 for NTSC, which is 60 frames per second, pretty much. As you can see, more fluid, a bigger range, that is 1080p on 60 frames per second. Then again, currently in the market, these are not as cheap as you would like them to be because of the current situation. So as you can see, I can use highest FPS or 5994 NTSC. That is because I'm getting it from my Canon Vixia. I used to connect also my Nintendo Switch into it, and they would give me all the other options for 30 frames and all that stuff. Now, if you are interested in knowing how to do that, you can go ahead and check the video that is added into the description below. Okay, and then this is the last card that I'll be testing out today, which is the video capture with loop. This is what will be replacing the HD60S or HD60S Plus is now the capture card, and I want to get this actually for my Nintendo Switch or game console. Now I used the Camlink for that, just to let you know. And if you want to learn how to get the most out of your Camlink, go ahead and check the video in the card up here, which teaches you how to set up your Nintendo Switch to be able to stream loop. Okay, and then again, we have another USB video device. You want to set this up again to custom, and you want to choose what is set up. As you can see, you have multiple options here. Now there's a little caveat here, 1080p, but it's limited to 30 frames per second. As I mentioned before, for higher movement or fast-paced movements, I would definitely go with something that could be able to stream out in 60 frames per second. If you're going to be doing this for consoles and you're going to be outputting 60 frames per second, then you won't be able to do that with 1080p. That's from what I saw in the manual. So what you want to do is actually change to 1280 by 720, which is 720p, and then this one will actually allow you to go to 60 frames per second with a much more fluid movement, and you can stream out your games without any problem. This is pretty accessible for about $30 or so. I have all the links of all these different products in the description below. Go ahead and check them out if you're interested in getting these. Okay guys, so I hope that this video was helpful. These are a couple of solutions that you can use for you to be able to stream, now that currently a lot of people are interested in streaming and you want to know which kind of tools you can use. Now there is the Elgato Camlink and other solutions like Avery Media and all that stuff, but I know that currently the prices are a little skyrocketed, so it's kind of crazy right now, and I believe that these alternatives, which are cheaper solutions to be able to stream, that will be able to hold off for a while.
For some videos like this on content creation and streaming, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure to click on the notification bell to be notified when a new video is released. I'm still trying to figure out how to end videos, to be honest. You know what? Just go ahead and watch another video. All right? See ya.